AI hiring platform. Mercor is backed by investors including Jack Dorsey, Peter Thiel, Larry Summers, as well as VC firm General Catalyst and Benchmark, trying to fix some of the flaws in the hiring process, including reducing human bias. Joining us right now, first on CNBC, is the company's co-founder and CEO, Brendan Foody, an investor, and I should say legendary investor. Can I do that? Benchmark general partner, Bill Gurley. It's great to see both of you. Good morning to you. Brendan, explain this, because, right before the break, as I teased this, I said, is it possible that AI can hire people better than a human can?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having us on. And I think it certainly is. We started Mercor with the premise that there's this legacy services industry where people will manually review resumes, manually conduct interviews, and manually match people with roles. But all of these processes can be automated not only far more skilledly, but also far more effectively with LLMs, where people can upload their resume, it'll read through all of their work experiences, their projects, even the papers that they've written, and then ask dynamic follow-up questions with a model that can predict what jobs that they'll perform well at and match them with opportunities.
So this is really more of a matching platform rather than, can an employer use this directly, though?
Exactly. Yeah. So we also facilitate all of the hiring, compliance, payroll associated with this. So people come to us, they say that they want to hire a software engineer or a lawyer for a particular job that they need to do. And then they can press a button and hire that person immediately with confidence in how they'll perform on the job.
Hey, Bill. People don't love HR departments. They don't. I hate to say that. I love our HR department. What do you think happens to HR departments if this thing succeeds?
Well, I think you have this situation in every single functional area of a company right now where we're trying to figure out where AI and LLMs can add the most value and can do things, arguably better than a human. And so, I don't know that anyone out there loves, extended interview processes. Those tend to touch multiple people in an organization well beyond HR. And if we have the ability to accelerate that, to lower the error rate where, you hire people that don't work out, those things are super powerful. And I think the big thing that all the venture capitalists are trying to figure out right now is where does AI have the ability to have the highest impact right out of the gate. And when we came upon Brendan and Mercor and what they were doing, we got super excited and believe they're one of those type companies.
Now, when you look at this investment, for example, and I think there's a big question for all investors right now, given just how AI is moving so fast, how do you think about the moat around Brendan's business and around other AI businesses? Because at some point, if, for example, OpenAI, which I believe is what's powering part of this, becomes so powerful and so successful, won't it be able to actually recreate all of these companies?
Well, I think that's a great question. And you probably know that I spent the majority of my career seeking out companies that were two-sided marketplaces and that had network effects where the more time you have in market, the more customers you have, the better the product gets. And I might turn it over to Brendan to explain exactly how that happens inside of Mercor. But one of the reasons I'm here today and one of the reasons Brendan and I hit it off so much is precisely because of the question you're asking.
Yeah, of course. There's the obvious network. There's the obvious network effects associated with a marketplace where we have people that will join the platform as candidates, taking interviews and looking for jobs, and companies hiring on the other side. But perhaps even more interestingly is we're collecting data on every bonus that an employer will issue, every raise that they'll give to someone, the reasons that they'll dismiss someone from a job, and training models that predict how well people will perform on their next opportunity. And so, we know many of the people at Top Labs intimately well, and we're making a bet that these models will be incredibly capable, but they won't be able to solve this problem of effectively predicting human performance. And with enough data and this usage data flywheel, we'll be able to build the best model in the world to predict human ability.
And therefore, where do you get the data from?
It's from our, all-on platform, where because we're the one that's processing all of the payouts and billing to customers and candidates, we're able to see, who's getting raises for what reasons, who's getting dismissed for what reasons. And it's really useful to our customers, even on an individual level, right? Where they want to make better predictions about who's going to perform well on the kinds of opportunities that they have so that we can set them up for success. And so that's one of the most powerful parts of the platform.
Dare I ask, do you worry about, or maybe it's an opportunity to sell to them eventually, a Workday or a company like a Ripple or somebody like that who clearly has lots of employer and employment data?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm constantly amazed at how slow those companies are moving. And I think it's clear that nonetheless, we should still be thoughtful about it. I see it manifesting itself largely through partnerships and collaborations with them. But at the end of the day, I think whoever builds, shipping great technology extremely quickly is going to win the market. And I really believe we can do that.
Bill, as you know, so many in the Valley, and you discussed it earlier, are trying to figure out where the opportunity lies in AI, specifically on the software end. I think we understand the hardware side of it, at least chips in that respect. But when you look at businesses, how much of it is the data piece? Do you say, here's a marketplace where there's the two-sided social effect, but how much of it is folks who have proprietary data that then they can marry to an OpenAI, for example?
Well, I think if you have a problem that is deterministic, and in some ways the full self-driving problem is that way, you can use traditional AI models and allow them to run competitions with each other and get to really amazing places. A lot of the business process problems aren't that way, and so I think the question then becomes, how can LLMs be most effective and things that involve language? I'm really excited by the new voice products out of OpenAI. I think that voice could become a new frontier, and you have to really get in market with these solutions and see where they're able to have an impact fast. And so customer service has been one of those. We believe strongly that interviewing and HR and recruiting can be one of those. And I think that's what the whole world's starting to figure out. But we're seeing the green shoots because these companies have revenue already. We know which ones are working.